Special meeting of the Commissioners Court of Grimes County, Texas, at 1114 West Buffington Avenue, Anderson, Texas. At this time, we are I'm calling the meeting to order. And although it's not on the program, we're asking if you'd like to make a public comment, you can at this time, but let's limit it to 2 minutes so that others will have an opportunity to speak. So the floor is open for public comments. Do we have any public comments?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Joe Faust. I am a signed-up candidate for the position of County Judge for the March ballot on the Republican primary docket. And I would like my name to be considered to fulfill the resigned Judge Ben Leman's final year of his term of office that would conclude on 12/31/18. So I would appreciate your consideration. I'm prepared and ready to move into that position and would be honored to serve the county. Thank you,
sir. With that being said, I'd like to make a public comment. We received December 8th a letter of resignation from our County Judge Ben Leman, effective immediately. It has been an honor. This is his words. I hereby submit my resignation as County Judge for Grimes County, effective immediately. It has been an honor and a true pleasure to serve the citizens of Grimes County with each of you and other elected officials and all of the wonderful employees. Sincerely, Ben Leman. With that being said, I'd like to say that I appreciate Mr. Leman's service to the county. I think that he has elevated the county in many ways. We've gotten a lot of things accomplished. I was looking forward to another year of more accomplishments, but I do understand after speaking with him his need to file for that position for State House Representative District 13 position. With that being said, I am also grateful to our representative, Mr. Leighton Schubert, for the service that he's given to the citizens of Texas, of our District 13, and how he's fought so valiantly for us and still will until his term is up. But that's probably what I wanted to say, but please forgive me. I do have a cold today, so I'm doing the best I can with my head burning up, so thank you.
I too would like to thank Judge Leman for what he's done. We've been through a lot of things in the last 3 years. We've made a lot of changes, but I think we've moved the county forward in many ways. And we're looking forward to continue doing that with the court that we have. I think we work well together and we will continue to work well together.
Okay.
And again, I would like to thank Leighton for his service and looking forward to working with Representative Leman when he's elected.
All right. All right. If there aren't any other public comments, we'll move on to the item at hand. It is consider and take action to appoint a replacement for County Judge position due to the resignation of County Judge Ben Leman to run for State House Representative District 13 position. And we are now in discussion. I was asking Ms. Duff about the window. I know that Mr. Falk has filed to run in that position, but I understand that that window does not close until this evening at 6 p.m. So I just want to hear the opinions of the court as to how you all would like to proceed.
Ms. Patrick, has anyone else signed up since we spoke last this weekend?
I only have Mr. Fowl signed up on the Republican side. I did receive a phone call from someone today at lunch who is pursuing it, I think. We'll see. So there might be another one.
I too have been getting calls this morning about possible candidates for the position. So in speaking with our county attorney, if we can take action today or we can delay the action until Friday morning in order to give other people an opportunity to, if they want to file, they do have until 6:00 p.m. this evening. Not saying that our candidate we have is not a worthwhile candidate, but we just wanted to make sure that we consider everyone that could possibly also fill those shoes, so. I just want to hear from the feedback from the court, please.
That being said, I think that we should table this until, as we have in the past, in the past, in our hiring policy, we've given opportunity for people to sign up in vacant positions, in each one of those. Therefore, I think, because we do have interest in it, I think we need to table it until Friday and see who we have and get the applications in, and we can go over that.
You realize it's a short window that,
Yeah.
still
yes,
left, but.
I do.
2.5 hours left.
Oh, did I cut you off, sir?
Yeah, if we want to go further into discussing this, I would suggest that we go into executive session to do that.
Well, I don't think we posted executive sessions for today. so-
Yeah, we talked about that.
You don't have to, we don't have to post it, do we?
Well, I would always prefer, especially when something garners this much attention, that it be posted so there's no question that the public is aware. There is the issue that it's usually contained within the item. The agenda as it's posted or as it's published has the provision at the bottom that would permit that, but I'd prefer we not rely upon that unless we absolutely have to. And since we have time here, there is no absolute requirement that somebody be in the position at this point. This is, as I have said to the commissioner and others, that oftentimes it is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the court to appoint and take the place of the people, appoint somebody to be in this position. It is a significant matter. And obviously, you need to take all of the time that you as a court deem is appropriate and not make a hasty decision. And maybe it's a candidate who's filed and maybe it's not. Maybe it's better to choose somebody such that there will be continuity beyond next December. Maybe it is the court's preference to do something different. But there's no requirement that you act today, and I would certainly suggest that you take all the time that you deem is appropriate, and certainly nothing wrong with posting it Friday other than requiring this young lady to get the notice out by tomorrow morning.
Well, with that being said, I am in agreement with Mr. Dobianski that we not rush into this. I mean, I started getting calls Friday evening, not knowing really what was transpiring, and this is the first time I've had to meet with my fellow workers to even discuss what their thoughts were, but.
I got a question, John. What are our options? We have two options, I guess. One is we appoint a judge to fill this unexpired term today or this evening, and the other option is to publicize this position and see if there's any other candidates that are interested in this position. And then we conduct the interviews like we always do, and then make a selection. Is there a statute that says there's time constraints as far as from the time we publish till we conduct the interviews, or not?
What you have done as a court, it's unfortunate that, and obviously it involved your position, but this court has seen the loss of two commissioners via death. We've seen a constable who has resigned. We've seen JP who has left before the end of the JP's term. You've seen a district clerk do the same. This court, in this moment, it may be fortunate that you've seen it before. It is unfortunate when you lose that continuity. I would say to you that the process that you have developed in the past has been a process that you as a court have put together. And so you're entitled to take the time that you deem is appropriate. We have a personnel policy that speaks to how positions for employees will be filled. It's not necessarily the same for elected officials. I think the people of the county would certainly benefit if the position doesn't remain vacant for an extended period of time. But there'll be no real benefit to the county if you, out of haste, appoint somebody that's not the right person. So I would suggest that you use the same process that you've used before to appoint elected officials, and you take your time, appoint the person that you believe is the most qualified.
Do you feel prudent that we should advertise this in the local newspaper?
The fear is that you may, as you know, Commissioner, there are contracts that may exist right now that need the signature of the county judge, because they've been authorized in one of the last few meetings that we've had. There are a couple of settings. There was a court date that the county judge was to have the day after tomorrow that dealt with guardianships. There are a number of matters, as you know, that will need the attention of the court, and that may very well need the attention of the county judge in his position outside of the court, which is now limited with the county court law. It's up to you as a court to decide whether you believe that is most appropriate or not. And if you think that's the way to get the most number of folks before you, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. Now, on the other side of that, you know that there will be a limited field of candidates who may have that position after December of next year. It may very well be that you find that those are the most appropriate folks to choose from to maintain some continuity with the court.
And the field of candidates that we have as of now is one, and possibly another. So maybe the option is to
Be two more.
delay this appointment today and choose from that field of candidates, however that may be, however many that may be, and set up a date to reschedule this meeting for later in the week.
Right, and I only said, Commissioner Walker and I discussed Friday because if the 72 hours notice goes out tomorrow morning, that gets you to Friday. There's nothing that would keep you from having it the following week if you needed a little more time. It's just a matter of leaving the position vacant for extended period of time, and I don't think anybody wants to do that.
No.
Well, I would suggest that I would like to even make the motion that we table the item until Friday morning at 9 a.m. if everybody's in agreement with that. That way we can have the proper language on the agenda item if we wanted to discuss in closed session.
Right, and this would qualify as a personnel matter that you
Yes.
could put executive session language, and I'd ask that be included. A question, do you want to put public comments? Do you want to have an opportunity for folks to talk? That hasn't been done in the past. There's no requirement at any meeting that you provide for that. It's entirely up to you as a policy as to whether you deem it appropriate. And if you decide after today, you can certainly call Sherry and ask her to add that.
Would y'all like to add public comments to that?
I'm fine with adding them.
I don't
I
have-
think we need to give the public.
I don't think the courtroom's open Friday morning.
It's not open Friday morning.
So if I understand you
It is,
correctly,
never mind, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong Friday.
Okay, thank you.
if I understand you correctly, then we're gonna postpone the appointment until Friday, and then Friday we'll make the appointment.
But in the event we have multiple people,
Yes,
would we want to interview those at that time, and then before we made a decision?
I would say that we would.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make that motion again.
Is 10 o'clock, all right? I mean,
10
I want to
o'clock
give
is
her
fine.
plenty of time to get the notice.
It's fine with me.
Excuse me, we have grand jury Friday morning.
In here?
Yes.
So when she said it is taken, it is taken.
It's us, it's not.
What time is it?
It's at 9 o'clock.
Okay, so you'll have to
Could be
do,
moved to another room and to 8 o'clock.
Can move it to the main courtroom if that's open.
We're up there.
are you gonna be?
No.
Do you wanna do afternoon?
We can do
Yes,
afternoon.
it's gonna
We
be
can,
short
we can do it
Okay.
afternoon.
All right, 1:30?
1:30 is good. I make the motion that we table the item for today on the appointment of a replacement for a county judge position due to the resignation of our county judge Ben Leman to run for State House of Representative until Friday at 1:30
I second
p.m.
the motion.
All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have one other item on the agenda.
I move we adjourn.
I second it. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.